Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be one of my shortest intros ever because we're just going to go right ahead and head on into my reptile room. So something that I've discovered is that you guys really like seeing videos in my reptile room, showing you guys what's going on, updating you guys on everything. So I've decided that I want to start doing more videos in here. I kind of just want to bring you guys along for like this journey because you guys probably know I'm constantly doing things in here. I'm working on cages, setting cages up, changing things around, you know, I'm just constantly doing stuff in here. So I really want to bring you guys along for this journey rather than just kind of do update videos every few months or so. So since you guys enjoy these videos so much, I am really going to start doing more of them. I think that will be really fun for all of us. So what we're really going to focus on today is this rack here, specifically these cages here, because they are new from the last time that you guys saw this. Before we get into those cages, I do want to talk about a few things first. One of them being these awesome new backgrounds I got for my leopard geckos. It's so hard to see on camera just how awesome these are, but these backgrounds are so neat. So I got these backgrounds from Universal Rocks. They did send them to me and they are just super cool. So these are 3D backgrounds. So these ledges here are actually things that like my geckos can climb on. There's another one right up here which has become one of Sushi's favorite spots to hang out. Sushi has been loving this background so much. And then I also got one of these backgrounds for Pepper's cage, so it's just the exact same background again. It has the same ledges and everything, so she has also been having a lot of fun with it. And so I do actually have a third one of these backgrounds, so I'm gonna kind of try and show you guys what they look like. so you can probably see here like the 3D-ness of it better than you could in the cages. But these backgrounds are super cool. It's just really, it gives them a lot of fun places to climb, so I think it's really good enrichment for them. But I think that I'm going to be using this one here in my children's python cage, which is right up here. So now let's get on with these cages, which is what you guys are probably waiting for. Last time I did a video in this room and showed you guys the shelf, these two spots were actually empty. There was nothing there, nothing there. There was a cage on the bottom, which is my Pac-Man frog, but these two were just empty. So what I actually did with these empty spaces is I went out and I bought 2 new Exo Terras. So these are the small, low Exo Terras, which measure 18 inches long, 12 inches high, and 18 inches deep. So I bought 2 of them. I got this one here and I got this one here. So let's go ahead and talk about this one here first. So essentially what I did with this one here is I upgraded my scorpion. Some of you guys probably remember I own an Asian forest scorpion. His name is Merlin. He was previously living in a 10-gallon aquarium, and that was just a standard 10-gallon, so it was a top opening tank. But I just like these front opening cages so much better. I think they're so much more convenient than top opening ones. So I decided to go ahead and upgrade him into this cage here. So this does give him even more room than he had in his previous 10-gallon. So that's definitely a big bonus for him. So in here, he does have a few inches of substrate. This is like, you know, completely full of substrate, as Asian forest scorpions do typically like to burrow a fair bit. So I filled this up with lots of substrate that he can dig in. And then I put a lot of just like organic matter in the cage, such as, you know, a bunch of different leaf litter and pieces of wood and branches and everything. So he does have, like, there's this little pod back here, there's a piece of mopani wood, and then he does have some cork rounds. You can see this one here, and then there's another one over here with another cork round. I do have this little Schefflera plant growing in here. I don't really know if it's going to do super well long term because the light isn't very bright in here, but I'm just kind of trying it out. It's not a big deal if it doesn't really work out, so we'll see how it does. And then of course he has his water dish. So this cage here is heated with a strip of heat tape along with all of the other cages on this rack. So the back half of the cage is the warm section, and then the front half of the cage is the cooler section. I just saw this leaf move, so that makes me think that he is back here. Oh, and there he is. So yeah, that was just this cage. I wanted to update you guys, show you how this cage is looking. I personally am really happy with the way that it turned out. I think it's a really good environment for him. You know, he does have a fair bit of hiding spots with the cork rounds, and obviously they burrow, and all of the leaf litter in here. I think it creates a nice little environment for him to hang out in. So he seems to be enjoying the cage so far, so I'm pretty happy about that. I went ahead and just moved the cork round that's usually here, just so you guys can get a good look at him, because he's usually hiding most of the time, so you don't really see him that often. So I thought it would be cool for you guys to get a nice look at him. So next, let's go and take a look at this enclosure here. So this is the other new one that I set up. So I did get this Exo Terra. So this obviously went to my scorpion, which was an animal that I already had, but I did get this for an animal that I don't have already but am interested in getting. So I got this cage all set up, and I really like the way that it turned out. I think that this is a really cool cage. I'm really happy with it. So as of right now, there's no animals living in here. Like I said, I did get this for an animal that I'm interested in, but I don't have yet. As you guys know, it's always best to, you know, obviously be ready for an animal before you get them. So I don't have these animals yet. I don't entirely know when I'm getting them, but I have the cage all set up and ready for them because I always like to be prepared, which you should always be when you're looking at getting a new pet. You should always be prepared for them. You should have their cage ready before you bring them home. You know, that's always good practice. You don't want to just go out and buy something and then have to get its entire setup that same day. Not really the best thing to do. So, you know, I'm just preparing. I'm a pretty patient person, so you know, this cage might be sitting here empty for a little while, and I'm totally fine with that. So now a lot of you guys might be wondering what I plan on putting in here. I actually tweeted out a picture of this cage a few days ago, just kind of giving everyone a look at it, seeing what's going on in here, and no one really guessed what the animal was for. Actually, I think a few people did. So I'm lying, ignore me. Some people did actually guess what animal I am looking to get, and that animal is viper geckos. So viper geckos have been like an animal that I have been interested in for a while. I've thought that they were really cool geckos for months and months now. Recently I decided, you know, I thought that they would be a good pet for me. You know, I had done all my research on them, and clearly I have set up a cage for them now. So when I decided that I wanted to look into getting some, I went out and I got the supplies that I needed to set up their cage. If you guys watched my recent natural reptile supply haul, you probably recognize a lot of the stuff in here because that's what the haul was for. I was buying stuff to prepare for some viper geckos. So I knew that I wanted to try setting up a very naturalistic cage for them. They're not a super common animal in captivity, so you know, a lot of people have different opinions on their husbandry. Not many people keep them, but I did a lot of research on them and their environments and habitats and everything, and I decided I wanted to go for a naturalistic setup with them. So I bought a lot of stone, which you can see here. I got different types. So I got some slate stone, and then I got this other stone back there, and then I did buy some wood, and I bought some succulents. So these succulents that you see here are actually all live, they're not fake. Hello Sushi, how are you doing? So I went ahead and I set this cage up. So all of these stones are secured in place. Since I am going for a naturalistic look, these stones are going to be their hides. And when you're using rocks and stuff, you want to make sure they're secure, because you know, with rocks, you never want them to fall and possibly hurt your animal. So what I did was I super glued a lot of these together. Like, these aren't moving anywhere. They're all glued in place. You can kind of see some of the glue that like overflowed there. So I glued them all in place to make sure that they would be secure for my animals to hide under and both walk on top, because you know, you need to keep them safe. And then I added the substrate, which is a mix of Arcadia Earth Mix Arid and some sand. Now, a lot of people tend to freak out when they hear the term sand, because you know, sand is very often a bad substrate choice for a lot of animals, such as leopard geckos and bearded dragons, especially if you're using something like calcium sand or vitamin sand. But sand is actually a suitable option when it comes to viper geckos. You know, they're not the same as leopard geckos and bearded dragons. They are a different animal who have different needs and different requirements, and because of that, sand actually isn't, you know, it's not as bad for them as it would be for like a leopard gecko. I still wouldn't really recommend using pure sand, which is why I decided to mix it with this Arcadia Earth Mix Arid, but that's what I'm using. But just know, you know, I did do my research on this. It's not like I was just like, ooh, desert animal sand, like, you know. Again, this cage is heated with some heat tape in the back, so the back area is the warm area, and then up in the front is more of their cool area. So viper geckos are really neat because they're unlike a lot of other reptiles in the sense where they are communal, which means it's actually beneficial for them to be kept in groups rather than as a solitary animal. So I am interested in getting a group of either 3 or 5. I really would like to get 5, but they are expensive. I did find some captive bred ones here in Canada, and they're $250 a piece, so I think it's a little out of budget for me to get 5 right now. So I think I'm going to go with a group of 3 of them. That way it's a little more in budget, but they still have a nice group for them to, you know, socialize with. For those of you who don't know, viper geckos are also very tiny geckos, which is why 3 of them, or even 5 if I did end up getting 5, would be absolutely fine in a cage like this. Like, so, you know, they're a very small gecko. A lot of people don't know what they are, but hopefully I will have them, you know, at some point in the future, and I'll be able to show them off on my channel more and, you know, get more people interested in them and hopefully teach people about them. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. So hopefully that will be something that will be coming in the near future. So I think I'll just go and end the video here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this and learning about my new cages here, and I really hope that you guys will enjoy seeing more frequent videos on my reptile room. I think I'll really enjoy making them, so hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys will enjoy more future videos to come on my reptile room. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and give this video a big thumbs up. Also be sure to check out all of my social media. Everything is just EmmaSam99 for the most part. It will all be in the description below, so be sure to check that all out. And thank you guys once again for watching, and I will see you all next time.